Good morning and welcome to our adult story time. This summer we're taking our stories from the book Fractured Fairy Tales, and it is a book as told by A.J. Jacobs, and the stories were featured on the Rocky and Bullwinkle show. Today's story is The Flying Carpet. A very long time ago in a far-off land, there lived a very rich and powerful sultan. And each year he became richer and more powerful, for it was the custom of the people. A custom, incidentally, that the Sultan came up with, to bring him expensive gifts on his birthday. He had 2 birthdays every year. That was also the Sultan's idea. One year, on the Sultan's 2nd birthday that year, the usual sea of people flocked to the palace bearing gifts, jewels, robes, and furs and the like. No spices, please. The Sultan had an ulcer. Now it so happened that on that very day, a rug salesman from another land chanced to come by the palace, hoping to sell a rug. The palace guards, assuming he was another subject with a gift, quickly hustled the salesman into the throne room. At first, the Sultan rubbed his hands with glee. What a good idea for a gift, he thought. But then he noticed something terribly wrong. The rug had a hole in it the size of a full-grown male baboon. "By the beard of my mother-in-law," thundered the Sultan at the young man, "how dare you bring me a rug with a hole in it?" "It's just a small hole, fella," said the lad. "I mean, this rug is almost first-hand. But if it really bothers you, I can let you have it for half price." At this, the Sultan became very angry, and his face turned a regal shade of purple. The young man realized he had better do some fast thinking, or he wouldn't have a head to think with at all. "Oh, what a nice highness you are," he said. "Ha, ha, ha, ha. You can certainly take a joke. You knew this was much more than a small rug with a large hole in it." "I did?" asked the Sultan. "Oh, yes, I did. Of course. Ha, ha, ha. What is it?" "Get this, big guy," said the salesman. "It's a flying carpet." Upon hearing this, the Sultan was elated, for though he owned everything imaginable, he had never owned a flying carpet. He grabbed the carpet and decided to try it out as soon as possible. And before the salesman could stop him, the Sultan ran to the highest tower in the palace, sat on the rug, and pushed himself over the side. Here is what it sounded like. "Ay-ya!" Thud. The Sultan learned that the carpet wasn't exactly as advertised. After limping back to the palace, he ordered the unfortunate lad to be thrown in the dungeon. That afternoon, the Sultan's beautiful daughter happened to be picking tulips in the garden and happened to look through the bars of cell 32, the rug salesman's cell. "My, what a handsome man you are," she happened to exclaim. "What are you in for?" "A very short time, honey," said the salesman. "Tomorrow I get beheaded because I didn't bring your dad a flying carpet." "If I help you escape, you could find a flying carpet and make Daddy happy, and we could be married," said the girl. "Am I rushing things?" "I thought you'd never ask, baby." The princess hurried to the royal kitchen, where she baked a cake with a jackhammer in it, and took it to the lad. He ate the cake, which was rather large, put on ear guards, and drilled himself out of the dungeon. He then ran to the city to the first rug shop he saw. "Quick," he said, "give me a flying carpet." "What color?" asked the merchant. "How about blue?" said the lad. "We have no blue ones." "All right, so give me a red one." "No red ones either. In fact, we don't have any flying carpets at all." "Why didn't you say so?" "You didn't ask me. How about a throw rug?" The lad went to every rug shop in town. He found all sorts of carpets, ones that crawled, bounced, danced, and swam, but not a single one that could fly. In a last desperate effort, he went to a fortune teller. "I gaze into my crystal ball," said the fortune teller to the lad. "I see that you will meet a tall, dark stranger with an axe aimed at your head." "That I know, but where can I find a flying carpet?" "What color?" asked the fortune teller. "Never mind, just one that flies." "Well, I just happen to have one right here," said the fortune teller, reaching down and producing a rug. It was blue, for those who care. The young man climbed on and shouted, "Fly, carpet, fly." But sadly, nothing happened. "What's going on here?" shouted the young man. "What are you, some sort of terrorist from Hanna-Barbera?" He wasn't. The fortune teller exclaimed that the carpet wasn't magic at all, but it could fly if it was filled with the little things that flew, like bees, for instance. If the bees flew, the carpet would fly. With no choice, the lad bought the carpet and a jar of bees and raced back to his cell, where he spent the night sewing the bugs into the lining of the carpet. In the morning, he was taken before the Sultan. "Please spare me, Your Highness," he said. "Now I have a carpet that really flies." So saying, he released the carpet, and indeed it buzzed around the room, a good 5 feet above the royal floor. The Sultan was so delighted he immediately freed the lad, who then married the princess and, of course, lived happily ever after. Meanwhile, the Sultan flew on his carpet every day, and even though the bees in the lining stung him time and again, he was happy too. For after all, the carpet was a gift, and everyone knows that the bee stings in life are free. And that's today's story. Thank you for joining us. Until next time, stay safe, be healthy, and have a wonderful week.